Okay, first thing you're going to want to do when you receive your P50 or PTO 50 spreader, you're going to need to assist in unloading. And if you have forks, of course, you'll just come in from the front with your forks. If you don't have forks, you can use a bucket of a tractor and a strap or a log chain. What you'll do basically is wrap it underneath the center beam of the crate itself, and they'll put half of it on the tailgate. So as they pull it out, you'll be backing up with a chain or strap hooking to it, helping balancing it. And then when it gets on the gate and they start to lower it, you'll slowly lower it down, matching their speed until you get it on the ground. The first thing you do after it's unloaded, you get it on the property before the truck driver leaves. Make sure he pauses. I want you to walk around all four sides of the spreader. Look for damages. On the 25 and 50 ground drive models, you'll have the hitch will be inside, or tongue will be inside of the spreader. Check, make sure the tongue's there. If you purchased a PTO spreader, your PTO shaft will be inside, tied to the web chain. So just look, make sure everything's there, make sure there's no damages, and if there is none, then you can let the driver go. If there are any damages or possible damages, the truck driver will have a bill of lading. Write down anything you see on the bill of lading that may be bad before you let the truck driver leave, and then report to ABI as soon as possible. The tools you're going to need to remove the crating is you're going to need, it's easier if you have a saw, whether it be a sawzall, a skill saw, jigsaw, chainsaw, to cut the top of the crate. And then, or you can have a hammer and a pry bar to pry the top off. And then you'll need a screw gun, and with a T25 bit. Now, once in a great while, we happen to run out of T25 screws and we have to use Phillips, but we try to stick with the T25s. All right, the easiest way we found is to cut all of the top stringers from front to back. So okay, now that you've cut all your top stringers off, the easiest way is to actually just pry it outward. You may need to take a hammer and give it a little bit of force to break it loose some. And watch for your nails, of course. And then you're going to also do the same thing on the opposite side. So now with your T25 on your screw gun, you're going to remove the screws that lock in the tongue. Our skid happened to break when we took it apart, so this is a good thing to show you. Usually, we just hook a tow vehicle to it and pull it off the skid. But because this one broke, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the 2-bys, the center, each side, and then remove the front section of the skid, and then we can hook it to the tow vehicle after that. Okay, so we cut off the front half of the skid to make it easier since it broke. And we watched because there were some nails. We pounded down the nails to make sure we didn't flatten the tire. And now you'll see this plastic wrap up here on the tongue or hitch. Inside of this is your replacement shear bolts. So you'll want to take these out and keep these, because inside of this panel are shear bolts that break instead of breaking a chain. So you may need these down the road, so make sure you take these out and save them. Inside the bed, you're going to find your hitch pin. It's going to be tied to your speed control shaft for the web. You're going to untie that. So now you have your hitch pin and your PTO shaft. Then you'll simply, we've already got it lined up here. Drop in your hitch pin. And then you're ready to pull it off of the skid. Now we have our hitch pin already placed in. We're going to drive it off the rest of the skid. As soon as you get your spreader all unloaded, we want you to know that everything has been set at the factory. So all opponents have been greased, lubricated, and factory set. One of the things that seem to once in a while happen is your beater bars tend to get loose in the beginning. So just check them, make sure that they're not clanking around. If they are, tighten them down. But for some reason, it just happens every once in a great while. So just check those. Other than that, everything should be ready. On your PTO spreader, inside of the bed, you'll have your PTO shaft. There will be two ends in the shaft. One will have a thumb push pin. The other end, you'll pull back the outer casing. This end will go towards the tractor. All right, on your PTO shaft, you'll notice the shaft coming out of the spreader, we already have grease on it to keep it lubricated. So it's a good time while you're doing this to go to your tractor shaft, spray it with like a WD-40, PB Blaster, or any kind of penetrating oil, wipe it down with a rag, clean it off, and then just touch a little bit of grease around it so when you slide on and off, it makes stuff easier. And you should do that annually to keep them clean and free of rust. After you've done that, you'll push the pin in, and then you'll turn this until the splines line up. And you'll keep it pushed in until it goes, and then pull it back out and it clicks. Now on the other end, these are kind of tight at first. They'll loosen up as you use them a while, but you'll have to pull this back, pull it forward, spin it to line up the splines, push it past where it clicks in, and then pull back and make sure it clicks in. Once it's seated in, then you'll take your safety chains. You'll have a safety chain at each end. Wrap one around your hitch of your tractor. The other one you can wrap around the jack of the frame and clip it on. What these are for, once they're clipped on, these do not allow the cover to turn. So if somebody reaches down and cover it, it doesn't rip their arm off. That's the whole idea of the safety cover. Right now, we're going to go over on your PTO spreader, your grease zerks that should be done every 30 days or every 30 uses. So on the front, you'll see the picture of the grease gun wherever there's a grease zerk. You'll open up the little hood panel, and then you'll see inside there's a grease zerk with some red grease on it. You'll grease it enough that you see grease coming out. You cannot over grease them. Then you'll move around to the back underneath. If you look down, you'll see red grease again. On each side of your widespread paddles, you have a grease zerk. Again on this side. And again, you'll have another grease zerk underneath right by the sprocket. And then on this one, the actual fitting is way back in, so we put an extension tube. So you got a grease zerk here. And then, last but not least, in front, once more, you'll have a grease zerk inside. And again, these are not sealed bearings. Feel free to grease them. You're not going to be able to over grease them. You're not going to hurt them by putting too much grease in. Actually, too much grease helps flush some of the dirt and debris out of the bearings to make them last longer. All right, now we also have several fittings on the unit that are annual grease fittings. So just once a year. On your guard, you'll take a 9/16 socket or wrench. You can reach in. Now these are toggle heads. I've already pre-loosened these. So all you'll do is remove, there's 2 bolts on the 50 PTO. So you got a washer and a lock, washer and a nut. You remove that, drop your bolt out, and then you'll come here to the back, do the same thing. and then you can remove the complete hood unit or cover. Now, one thing we'll go over while we're talking about grease zerks while we're right here is you'll notice on the front of this sprocket where the chain rides, this is your shear bolt. This is designed to break if you have something hard that goes through there. If it hits a rock, a frozen piece of manure, something like that, this bolt will shear rather than break something on the spreader. So if it does, you'll notice that this hub unit, this outside hub, is not actually attached to this sprocket. It might look so in the picture because it's all fresh new paint. But this piece and this piece are separate. So what'll happen is if you notice that your PTO is turning, but your beater bars are not moving and your web drive's not turning, first thing I would do is take this cover off, check, make sure. When they sent you your unit new, they also sent you 3 extra replacement shear bolts and nuts. So you just line the hub up. Now, if they're out of alignment, you can actually turn the PTO shaft until they line up, or you can have somebody stand back and spin the beaters and put like a pipe wrench on here so this doesn't turn. And as they spin the beaters, you can watch it turn until the hole on this and the hole in the hub unit line up. And then you'll notice if you come over here, and you might have to the first time, these get painted. So you might have to take like a utility knife, scrape the paint off here. This is an annual grease zerk, and those are sealed, so you'll only give them 1 to 2 squirts of grease. And then again right here. And I would suggest when you're annually greasing these, you would also oil this chain, and not with a penetrating spray oil. You want to use like a motor oil, a heavier oil that's going to stay on longer. Your penetrating sprays work good to break something loose, but they dry out rapidly. Now, on the hubs themselves, they are going to, they actually have bearings inside. So you're going to have to pull the cover off. Easy way to do it, you can jack it up, pull the tire off, but you don't even have to pull a tire if you don't want. You can take a screwdriver, pry the cap off, take the nut off, and then you can remove the bearings in the hub, and then you can repack the bearings. And you'll have to do that on both sides. Now, on your PTO shaft, you will also have, on both ends, you'll have a grease zerk. I got it the wrong direction, of course. But you'll notice you'll have a grease zerk. Annually, 1 to 2 pumps, both ends of the PTO shaft. There's also a stand for your PTO shaft. It's nice because if you keep your PTO shaft stored in it after you disconnect from your tractor, this keeps it from getting the end in the ground and getting dirt and debris in it. On your web chains, to check them, if you stand in the center right at the front edge of the tire, you'll pick up, you should only be able to get them about 3 inches off the bed. If you get 5-6 inches of slack, then it's time to make some adjustments. To do this, on both sides, these nuts will take an 11/16 wrench or socket, and you'll just loosen these. You don't take them all the way off, just turn them about 3 or 4 turns to have them loose so they'll slide. You can see they're in a sliding gap. And then on the front side, and loosen these on both sides first, then the bolt head directly in front of it is your tensioner. And what you'll do is start turning it, count your turns. If you get 10 turns, then you'll reach up, check your web chain again. If it's at 3 inches, then you can lock these down, go to the other side, turn it 10 turns, and check it again just to make sure. But they should stay the same that way because you want to keep it as close in alignment as possible, of course, so your web chain runs straight and true. Also, here are 2 annual grease zerks. Again, these are sealed bearings, so they're annual. So what you're going to do is you remove the right rear cover. Once you remove it, you give 1 to 2 pumps of grease. I would just go 2 in each one. If you feel it giving some resistance on the gun as you're doing it, just stop. You know it's got enough grease in it. All right, so now if your chain starts to get loose, you can see it's not completely as tight as it can be, and it's not supposed to be. You want some flex in the chain. So if it starts to get too loose though, then you'll notice on here, there are two nuts, a top one and a bottom one. These go to hold the bearing in. So you loosen those on both sides. Once you get them loose, it's easier with two people to do this. But after you loosen them, you can have one person grab it and pull backwards on it. And then once you get the tension set, they can tighten back down the nuts. Now, when it gets looser than that and you can't get it to work, you'll have to come around to the chain and you'll have to look for the master link. And the master link, you'll see I'll have a separation here. You'll slide off the clip. I usually use a screwdriver, a flat screwdriver. I'll pry it back a little bit. And then once I get it back enough, I'll pull this out and then I can turn it and swivel it and grab it with a pair of vice grips or needle nose and pop it out. And then you'll have a plate. So you got a clip and then this part's a plate. And then you can slide this link out. You can remove one link and then shorten it and put it back together, or call us and we can get you a new one. Your last chain for tensioning runs your PTO. So it goes from your PTO shaft here to your outside corner. So again, a 9/16. And the nut in here is affixed on, it's welded on, so you don't have to have a wrench on the inside. We tried to make life as simple for you as possible. All right, so after you removed your center bolt, you'll lift the shield up, set it off to the side. Now, you'll notice that there is a bolt way down here underneath. This is your locking bolt that locks it in place. That's an 11/16. You'll loosen that up. After you loosen that up to set your tension on this chain, then you'll come to this side and you'll actually start turning it counterclockwise, pulling this center hub back here, putting more tension on the chain. Again, you'll have a master link. If it gets too loose, you can always take a link out of the chain and shorten the chain. Or, again, call us, and we also can get you another chain. Also, you'll notice there are two grease zerks. These are also annual grease zerks. So you can unplug these, and these will get 1 to 2 squirts of grease each once a year.